Saturday at noon, the Buckeyes of Ohio State take on the Pitt Panthers. That's Saturday at 12, only on HTS.
Take a look at what we're fixing to see right here. The car 5, Ricky Rudd, comes to the inside on Bill Elliott. Chevy on the bottom, Ford on the outside as you watch it live here on TBS from Richmond International Raceway. Slugfest, the second spot, main straightaway. Over 150 miles an hour. They carry that speed into turn 1 and up on the lap car of Darren Cope. Bill Elliott, oh, he just taps the back end of 98. Look out. Hard hit. Caution is out for the Bojangles car. Took the shot coming off number 2, and you saw the result. Caution is down. That's the 4th time tonight that yellow has flown. Take that back. That's the 5th time tonight that we've seen the yellow out. You saw that one happen.
You talk about mixed emotions. Rusty says, oh no. Mark Martin and Rusty, I say, man, do we need this. We'll see what happens when they get there out of these pit stops.
Lap 352 is when it happened. What happened? This is what happened.
They go down in the corner here. Rudd was racing with 11 car. He's trying to get up there with Elliott. Gets in the throttle. Wham! Right in the back end of Derek Cope, and around he goes. Round for a ride.
Ooh. Leaders on pit road. Wallace is in. Elliott, Rudd, Martin, Gordon, Earnhardt, all the leaders in.
They said they didn't want to have to put that 16-second one on Ken. Let's see if they can do it right here. They just said a while ago, we hate to have to show them we can do it again. If they do it again, they'll be leading this race.
Tell us again how much those tires cost every time you change 4.
They're about $1,200 a set. Looks like Mark Martin's having some trouble with his left front.
Randy's there.
Well, they are having a little trouble with the left front. They went up 2 pounds all the way around, or at least on the right side. Steve Neal, 3 rounds of wedge out of the car. They're going to try and loosen the thing up, let Mark.
Bad crash, and it's Ricky Rudd getting spun. He got hit coming out of the pits.
Like Rudd and Earnhardt got together as they came out of pit road.
Gathers it up and continues.
That stop a while ago, Rusty Wallace was 17.6. Before it was 16.6, so still at that, it's a tremendous stop. Damage right there in the left rear.
See, the thing really got dinged. Let's take another look.
Okay, here's Elliott leaving the pits. Here comes Rudd out. Here comes Earnhardt out. Boy, the hit right there at the end of pit road. Rudd goes around. Earnhardt goes on out.
Gets dinged just behind the driver's door. Rudd coming around to get back in again.
Okay, there's Earnhardt up right beside Rusty Wallace. I'm sure he's asking Rusty, take a look at that right front. Let me know what that thing looks like. Earnhardt got hit on the right front when they made that contact, and somebody like Rusty, he'll look over and say, hey, you need to go in the pits and get that thing fixed or you're okay.
Not much of a birthday present for Ricky Rudd, who turns 37 tomorrow. There you see the damage on Ricky Rudd's car number 5, just back there in that lower panel behind the door.
See, wiggle that car real hard, Ken. What he's wanting to see if it sets down. It looked to me as though when he wiggled it, that quarter panel set down on the top of that tire. If that's the case, that thing will wear the top of the tire, wear a hole in it. He's got careful. They got to make the choice. Do we come in and correct that problem or see if we can live with it? He's doing that with the crew. Can take a look as he goes down, see if it bottoms out on that tire.
Crew looking on to see if they should bring him in or not. How about that 3 car? Did that take any damage?
Took a pretty good lick on the right front. Might have done the toe in or toe out damage on it.
I think he may pit. I think you may see Earnhardt in this time. Wrong. Staying out there.
Let's take a look at the right front on Earnhardt so we can see that's the area that hit on his car. Looked like most of the lick was on the tire itself.
No, just right up there.
Right in front of the fender a little bit. The question is the toe out. Is that off when they take a lick like that on the steering components? Looks like maybe both of them just have body damage. The spotters on top of the pit road, they're looking at TV. They want to see themselves in that right front row.
Yeah, that's right. They're saying, we don't want to see ourselves. We want to see that race car. Get that thing out.
I'm sure the crews are hollering, put the camera back on the right front so we can see what we got.
Well, this is happening lap 356. We're under caution. Rudd collected Derek Cope, sent him spinning out of turn number 2. Brought out the 5th caution. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
As soon as he comes through here. Well, Richard Childress, Andy Petrie, all the guys, they're watching the monitor. They like a nice tight shot of the right front if you could. We've done it for other teams before. It's television. They're trying to figure out if that right front is rubbing. It was difficult. They're saying it's close. It's like a huddle. They said break. We'll take a look. I think they're going to let him go. They're going to leave it like it is.
I tell you what, you rely, just like when he pulled up to Rusty and was asking him, was that right front rubbing? Looks like they decided to go with it. Rudd, good questionable on the left rear, yes, so both of them are going to take the chance and see if they can go. This late in the race, you got to gamble, I guess.
Watching that wireless Motor Week television down there, getting that shot. Those folks were getting a good look at what that number 3 looked like. I guess they're going to leave him out. Indeed, Neil, that seems to be the story as they get organized. Pace cars coming in at lap 3:58. We go green. Down for a start. On the break. Wallace first. Elliott second. Earnhardt third. Gordon fourth. Martin is 5th. Kyle Petty 6th. Brett Bodine 7th. Waltrip 8th. Terry Labonte in 9th. Ricky Rudd out 9th. Top 10. Wallace trying to get away. After him comes Elliott. Elliott fades a bit high. Rick Mast back in 13th down the inside. Elliott's best this year. He had a 3rd up at Pocono in July. And of course, he won the last race of the 1992 season at Atlanta, take place in November. Always a good one.
Boy, Elliott stayed right there with Rusty. Seemed to stay right with him.
Question is Martin. Martin is sandwiched back behind Hunt Strickland in the 27th car, who was running 15th. But here's the struggle, and it's for the lead. Bill Elliott, who has not tasted a victory since that last race of '92. Working the back end, and now all of a sudden Jeff Gordon slows down dramatically. Gordon coming down in 5th spot. Drops all the way back through traffic onto the rear. Something amiss there.
I think what happened, Kenny, just got shoved outside, slid out to the outside of the wall.
So the battle continues up in front. 361 complete. We'll be back with more of it in a moment between Wallace and Elliott for the moment at Richmond.
At GMC Truck, we built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage. It also comes in this handy take-home side. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Had a platinum plug in there, great performance. Next weekend, I had the split fires in there. Amazing difference. I couldn't believe it.
More complete combustion.
I use lower octane now. It seems like it runs like I had the premium in there.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs.
I have them on my motorcycle, my boat, and my car.
America is talking about Splitfire.
I feel like I have more power. I feel like I have a new engine.
Splitfire won a United States. It doesn't look like any other spark plug. It doesn't work like any other spark plug.
It saves me $2 or $3 a week. I went from probably 300 miles on a full tank to almost 400. I love them.
I'm saving at least $3 to $4 a week.
Splitfire. At $5.99, it only costs more till you use it.
I'm going to stay with Splitfire forever.
Get guaranteed Splitfire benefits for all gasoline engines at leading automotive stores nationwide.
If America had never invented rock and roll, chances are it'd be something like this. Fortunately, we did.
Now dig this, baby. You don't care for me. I don't care about that. You got a new groove. I'd like to like that. I am the only one burning this.
The new Camaro.
Let me stand next to your.
What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
384 laps complete, so we're down to the final moments, the dregs of it, but they're pretty interesting ones tonight. There has been a caution. There was an incident in the main straightaway. You're riding with Bobby Hillen. He's coming down the main straightaway, and there you see the car of Dick Trickle getting loose, the pedigree dog food car. Here's Hillen after that 38 spun coming off 4, and they just barely touched right there. And now they're back out again.
They're giving 1 to go, Ken. Only 2 cars pitted on that caution, Labonte and Darrell Waltrip. The guys on the lead lap, there were just 2 of them that pitted.
So now there are 15 laps to go. Car of Hillen, the 90 car, which was the onboard camera car, and Trickle were in contact for a moment down here. Yellow was thrown. It's been out for 3-4 laps now.
It's the NFC East Report, Friday nights at 10:30, only on HTS.
Top-ranked teams and time-honored rivalries find their home in the only conference within the confines of one state, the Southwest Conference, a tradition as big as Texas.
Catch season-long coverage on HTS.
It's a slugfest in the Northwest. Chad Paulson and Oregon State are set to test Anthony McClanahan and the Washington State D.
The scoring drive, that's what it's all about, beating the team.
Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown.
1st and 10, 4th and inches. It doesn't matter. Just break the tackle. Go all the way. The only goal is taking it to the zone.
It's a Pac-10 showdown, live Saturday at 6:30 on HTS.
Everyone has their own idea of a hero.
Magic Johnson. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. Neil. My hero, Gloria Stefan.
Martin Luther King. Mr. Hope.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes. They've given them hope. They've given them choices. They've changed their lives.
Well, the children are the heroes.
The most fulfilling thing is watching a child succeed.
I just like to help them make their dreams come true.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. If you want to make an impact on our future, call 1-800-45-TEACH.
Mr. Wilkins.
Mrs. Eisenhower. Mr. Adler.
Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Their incredible battles in the 70s brought the tennis world to its feet. Now, the legends return to the courts for more unforgettable matches on the Champions Tour. Semi-final and final round coverage begins this weekend on Prime.
Final moments. Oh! Car getting spun in front of the field. Big crash. That coming out of turn number 2. 1, 2, 3 cars collected. Hillen is all smashed up in the front end. The Heilig-Myers car, they're coming back to caution. Well, it was what Neil called. Those cars on the inside had the bite, they had the rubber. As you ride here with car number 90 and take a look at what happened to the Junie Donlevy car. Donlevy, a legend in this part of the country, been building cars for almost half a century, 43 years. And this one you can write off.
Yeah, Gant was sitting in the racetrack, and I think Hillen come along and got into Gant. Here we're inside with Bobby Hillen. Yeah, he's okay in the car. He's moving around.
And he's got it fired. Here's Gant's number 33. He got sideways. Remember, he was one of those cars that made that tire change. I think he may have got clipped going in, got it turned sideways. He was in the center of the track and was center punched. Here it is again.
Here they go down in the corner. We see Gant on the inside. Wham, there's Earnhardt. They get in the rear, then gets up into Elliott. And now here comes Gant down off of the racetrack. Let's see where Hillen comes from. The Gant backs up in the track. Oh, Hillen, nowhere to go. Clips you right on the rear back there. So much damage in front of Hillen's car.
Working to get Harry Gant back in this thing in car number 33. Hillen's night is over. The hook is out for him. So now we're at lap 388. I'm sure we're going to get back to green before this one's over as we watch Kyle Petty coming out.
How about a 10-lap heat race on Saturday night? We're fixing to
How
have it
about
for the
maybe
win.
a 5? In-car look at that wreck from Bobby Hillen's vantage point. Ooh, this is going to sting.
Yeah, this is going down in the first turn right here. Going down. Okay, Hillen comes in. I guess got in the back of the 41 car, Parsons.
He was on the brakes trying to miss what was up in front.
Okay, so he's going to go left. All of a sudden, guess when you come through the smoke? That's all the smoke. All of a sudden, you come out, wham.
Bobby Hillen in his car really took a shot.
Yeah, that'll give you a headache right there, I promise you.
Real time from the in-car. Listen to this.
I remember a few of those. Thank goodness Bobby wasn't hurt. It looked like he might have a nice little headache this afternoon tomorrow. No more damage than that, baby.
So there will be less than 10 laps to go when they get this race restarted. They still have safety crews cleaning up out there in turn number 2.
As you know, I'm not only the heckler president, I'm also a client. If your hair is thinning like mine was, call now for your free video.
The first thing my wife said when she saw it, that I looked 10 years younger. That was the first words out of her mouth. Not hello, not hi.
I feel good about myself when I get up in the morning. It's easy to maintain and manage.
So call now for your free video on Hair Club's developments in dealing with thinning hair. To help our clients, see how this free video can help you too.
And now the KIZ weather. Hot, hot, and hot. We have unconfirmed reports of people actually evaporating as a result of spontaneous combustion.
They say the only way to avoid combusting is by drinking unusually large amounts of ice-cold Pepsi.
Well, that just goes to show you shouldn't believe everything you hear on the radio. And that's the weather on KIZ Radio.
Well, this is an unusually large amount of Pepsi.
Y'all keep cool now.
Hard as it is to believe, people actually walked away from accidents like these. But before there were seatbelts, airbags, child safety seats, or anti-lock brakes, these people wouldn't have had a prayer. Which is why Geico has lobbied for these life-saving technologies for years. You see, we'd like you to be our customer, or somebody's, for a long, long time. Geico, we have only one policy: safety.
10 cars in a sprint, a typical Saturday night shootout. Only instead of being the short track cars, it's the best in the business ready to go as you ride down here. Jimmy Hensley taking you down in that cellular phone car on the bottom of the racetrack. Here's Mark Martin getting ready from his vantage point back in 5th spot. The light is off on the pace car. We're ready to go racing. As they take green, there will be 9 laps remaining. Wallace makes a beautiful start. Give him 2 car lengths going into turn number 1. Elliott's right here in second. Earnhardt's in third. Sprinting down the back straightaway.
Rusty got a good jump, but look at Elliott reeling back in.
Locked on the rear bumper. 11, Elliott, Pontiac first. Ford second. Chevy third. Standing room only crowd. Standing all the way here in these last few laps. 10 cars in the lead lap. Can Wallace stay there?
Elliott was able to close that gap up. Catching a guy is one thing, but passing him on this side's racetrack when 2 cars are pretty evenly matched, it's going to be tough.
7 to go.
There's Earnhardt closing in on his bumper, Bill Elliott. If these 2 guys get going at it, Rusty's looking at that mirror and saying, have at it, guys. Y'all race all you want to race. There's Elliott, slid out just a little bit, getting in that corner. Slipped a little bit. There's Earnhardt down to the inside. Elliott's car just sparked up off that corner, pulled him way off the corner.
Earnhardt to the bottom, and he's there. And as they struggle back, oh, sideways out of 2 comes Bill Elliott. Picks it up at over 100 miles an hour. Flails it down into turn number 3, stays on the outside.
This is just what Rusty Wallace wanted.
5 to go.
Here they go go down in the corner side by side. Elliott's car gets a good run up off the corner here over time.
Not giving much ground. Got a crash up in turn number 2.
This could be the race back for second place. Can't get it restarted.
As they come to the line, it will be caution coming out with Wallace across the stripe. Elliott next. Followed by Dale Earnhardt.
I tell you what, the pace car better be fast. He's about to get run over.
Trickle's car down on the bottom. It backed into the wall, and that one got snubbed up considerably.
I'll tell you what, he's got it moving, and you can bet if he gets it off the racetrack, NASCAR will go green in a hurry here to finish this thing on the green. They're calling the safety equipment back in, car gets back in position, so as soon as this 39 car gets around, they'll go green. There's 1 to go this time, so they want this thing to end on the green.
Pace car brings him down by. The Pontiac pace car has that field in tow. It's Wallace, followed by Elliott and Earnhardt and Rudd. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's going to make it be 3 to go when they come around. No, that's right. There'll be 2 that come by taking it. 8. That's
397 right now. A 2-lap shootout for a $700,000 prize.
Yeah, I would say. You just kind of do what you got to do this next couple of laps.
And what would you do, sir?
I don't know. You know, we're seeing Rusty so good on the restarts. His car accelerates good on restarts.
Say you were back there in second or third, and your old pal Wallace is up in front.
Well, you just got to go. You know, you got to try to run as hard as you can. With 2 laps to go, somebody's going to make a mistake when you be able to get around him just about.
All right, 2 to go. Pace car is in. This is it to decide it all. Don't forget, October the 10th, Sunday, from Charlotte, North Carolina. 500 miles, the most competitive automobile racing in the world here on TBS. Wallace is away. Elliott's right there. Earnhardt goes up to the outside. Nice move by Elliott. Earnhardt thought he had a move up there. Bingity bang in the back straightaway. Schrader down the bottom side, making up some ground. Back comes Earnhardt into the back end of Elliott. White flag is out. 1 to go. Rusty Wallace is there. Martin is back in 5th spot. The string will end at 4. Down the back straightaway. It's Rusty Wallace in front. Elliott making one final stab. It is not enough. Rusty Wallace has done it. He's just won his 27th Winston Cup victory. And he did it really the hard way tonight. Had to make up a lap and come back. And he did. Rusty Wallace has done it. The Miller car, the black and gold for Roger Penske's team for the 2nd straight year, has won their race. And a standing ovation from 70,000 for Missouri's Rusty Wallace.
There you go.
Well, I tell you, Mark Martin and the guys, you can't do anything but pat them on the back for the run they've had. Every now and then it has to end. What a run they had.
A lap of honor for Alan Kowicki, for Davey Allison, who won here. We were back with you in March on this track. Rusty Wallace. Second spot to Elliott, 3rd to Earnhardt, 4th to Rudd, 5th to Martin, 6th to Bodine, 7th to Darrell Waltrip. It's Rusty Wallace's moment. He'll be pulling into victory lane. We'll have a chat with him in just a moment after this outstanding run. Rusty Wallace victorious here tonight at Richmond for the 2nd straight year. He's pulled it off in style.
Underneath every new Jimmy is the strength of a strong truck frame. An important advantage for towing, whether you're on-road or off-road. The GMC Jimmy. Drop in for a test drive.
Get back! You get out of here!
The
press says ABC has earned a reputation as the most daring network and can lay claim to the most talked about new series on any network's fall schedule. Viewer discretion advised.
Shut up! You got up! Shut your mouth!
I'm taking him off the street. I'll need your gun and shield.
NYPD Blue is classic. NYPD Blue, coming this fall to ABC TV.
He doesn't like power breakfast. He'll take a pass on poetry. Deep down, he's a grown-up Boy Scout. Way grown. He likes feeling clean and cool and very male. And he knows how to get there. Where have you guys been? Brute. Men are back.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
And it's another good night. There's the 6th win of the season. He had 5 coming into the night. Number 6 is here.
You mean we have to listen to Hayes? He picked him before the race.
Isn't that awful?
But
Good for Rusty Wallace.
Yes,
bad
sir.
for us.
Let me tell you, Rusty Wallace ran his guts out tonight to get to the front.
Randy, how about talking with the champion?
Wow, champ, that was something else right there. You're lucky you're up front. It got wild behind you. Great night for you, though.
Thank you very much. It was a good run for the whole crew. And, hey, the only thing I hate is that I didn't have a 28 flag in the car with me. But, you know, the thought goes out with both of them. I'll tell you that. But I'd like to thank our sponsors, Miller Genuine Draft, Goodyear Tires, Mobile AC, Pontiac. Everything went good today. Pit crew was really good. Got down a lap early because of a misunderstanding, and they got it back, and everything turned out well.
So let bygones be bygones on that one. I mean, did you jump the start or brake check or anything?
No, not at all. It's just a misunderstanding on their part. They thought I hit the brakes and brake checked them, and I did not do that. But I can understand that people can make a mistake evidently.
It's been a year of streaks, Rusty. You early catching a bunch, and then you break Mark. So he had a chance to set a record here tonight. Didn't do it.
Yeah, Mark ran awful strong. You know, hey, you got to miss a little bit every now and then. And I mean, for that guy to hit it 4 in a row, man, that was great. But it feels good to match my '89 record with 6 wins right now, 2 poles. We led a lot of laps today. This was a brand new car, and it ran real good. So we got a lot of good cars in the shop.
Where was Roger tonight?
Roger's here, along with Rick Mears, and they're all up there. This was Rick's first stock car race, and I'm glad I was able to win for him. Real dramatic night for Penske Racing.
Congratulations, Rusty. Nice win. Dick Bergman with Bill Elliott.
And after such a tough season, how does second feel?
Very good. I mean, at least to see the front and be able to kind of race for it and stuff. I hated to see the last 2 cautions come out because I was trying to bide my time and save my tires, and I was watching Rusty and seeing where he was bad and good. But then when the cautions come out, Earnhardt would get a good run at us, and I had to race him a lap or 2 because, you know, my car wouldn't come around right off the bat, and that was just a tough situation there at the end.
26th to second. Is Bill Elliott back?
I hope so. I hope I never left.
How rough were those last few laps?
It was pretty tough because, you know, Earnhardt was fighting for his place, and I was trying to fight for my place, and then Rusty was just trying to drive his line around the racetrack, not mess up. But, you know, we give it a good, strong run, and, you know, this gives definitely some good momentum for the rest of the year.
It was exactly what this team needed.
Absolutely.
Randy Pemberton.
Well, Mark Martin sitting here interviewing with some local media as far as MRN Radio. Mark, a good run. There was a time when 6th place would bring a real big smile to your mouth or to your face, but it wasn't a bad run tonight, but it broke your streak.
It'll be all right tomorrow. You know, it was a frustrating night because we checked out on them at one time and got so far ahead that we quit running hard because we were feeling kind of bad because we were beating them that much. And then, you know, and then, man, later on, it was like we couldn't keep up. You know, we did everything we could and tried to adjust the car, and it just it slipped away from us.
What is it? The track, it gets rubber, it gets oil, it changes a little bit, I suppose, but what changed it for you?
I don't know. I can't explain it. You know, there's some, you know, we didn't anticipate it. It just happened, and so we dropped back and did our best, and we got caught on that last deal right in the middle where it was hard to decide whether it'd be better to come for tires or not come for tires. If you're further back on the lead lap, you got nothing to lose. we were kind of caught there and just sort of stayed, and that was probably a mistake. Cost us a couple spots.
Did you get worried that those guys took on tires, some of the guys that were lapped down, and they lined up on the inside of you?
I don't think that ought to. That was awful. I mean, it was really hard. We almost tore some cars up there when Harry spun and all. It was really hard to race, and there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and Rex looking for a place to happen, but we got through it.
Okay, well, he brought a clean race car home, and he'll go to Dover next week and be tough there.
So averaging 99 miles per hour, Rusty Wallace wins his 6th Winston Cup race of the year, and it's evident that he's going to make a race of it right down to the finish as far as this point thing's concerned. He's really nipping away at your old pal Earnhardt.
I tell you, tremendous win for Rusty. You know, he's doing everything he can. He's winning races. Mark was winning races, trying to run Earnhardt down. But how do you catch him? A bad night like today, they couldn't get the car going, and he still finishes 3rd. It's got to be disheartening to win and not gain any more than they do.
A fine night for Rusty Wallace, a great night for Bill Elliott, and Earnhardt didn't do so badly back there in 3rd. For Neil Bonnet and Randy Pemberton, Rick Benjamin, Dick Berggren, and Johnny Hayes, this is Ken Squire saying so long here on Prime from Richmond International Raceway.
You're watching HTS. More sports. Your sports.
University of Maryland, this is the Mark Duffner Show.
Hi, once again, everybody. Welcome to the Mark Duffner Show. I'm Johnny Holliday, along with the head football coach at the University of Maryland. And tonight we talk about the Terrapins game against North Carolina, 59-42. Ever been involved in a shootout like that? 1,166 yards with the two teams?
Johnny, I have, and it was an offensive explosion with great excitement for the fans, many, many big plays on both sides, and really just an exciting afternoon offensively with too many big plays against our defense, which we're working very hard to correct.
Is that the thing that you tell the football team this week, if we eliminate those big plays, it's a whole different ballgame?
Well, there's no question about that. Our players know that from not only being at the ballgame themselves, but in the view of the film. They know that if we eliminate 2 or 3 of those big plays, we win the game going away. We had way too many in the course of the ball game, and so that's been a real focus for our football team, especially defense this week.
Offensively, Scott Milanovich, 5 touchdown passes, tremendous. He leads the ACC in passing.
He had an exceptional afternoon. In fact, he's 1 yard from 6 touchdown passes when Jermaine got tripped up just as he was going into the end zone. So really an improved ball game across the board for Scott Milanovich.
So a lot to talk about on the Mark Duffner Show. Stick around. We'll talk about the offense, the defense, North Carolina, West Virginia, all kinds of things when we come back after these messages. The Mark Duffner Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola. By Budweiser, the king of beers. Proud to be your Bud. And by U.S. Air. U.S. Air begins with you. Welcome back, everybody. Johnny Holliday along with Maryland's head football coach, Mark Duffner. Happy to have you with us. North Carolina, the 14th ranked team in the country. Lucky to beat a Maryland team that fought every single minute of that game in Chapel Hill.
Really, it was a complete effort in terms of our football team as far as that was concerned. You know, there are a lot of big plays that happened, but our team kept charging back and trying to make plays on offense and defense.
Well, talk about Jermaine Lewis for a second. I mean, nobody's going to catch Jermaine if he gets out in the open.
Johnny, a spectacular effort, and you're absolutely right. When he catches that football, it's got a chance to go all the way, as it did many times on Saturday against North Carolina. You can't say enough for what Jermaine has done in terms of his preparation week in, week out, and the way he plays on Saturday afternoon.
And the young kids that you've got, I say young kids, the freshmen, the redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores, Carter comes to mind, Stewart comes to mind, guys that are playing, and they're sort of feeling their way along.
Well, you know, it's interesting, but Andrew Carter had his first touchdown against North Carolina. Mansell Johnson, true freshman, had his second touchdown of the season. Jermaine Stewart had a touchdown. G. Roy Simon, a true freshman, had his first catch of the season. So we've got a lot of young receivers, a lot of young players across the board that are being very productive right now and very game-like, in the very best game-like situations you can have.
Interesting that if you check the ACC statistics this week, North Carolina, or Florida State leads the conference in scoring, Maryland second in scoring. So offensively, you're doing almost what you want them to do.
Our tempo improved from the Virginia game to the North Carolina game and able to really establish a tempo in the ball game. We were able to take advantage of a lot of situations. Again, it comes down to we'll win games on defense, always have, always will, and that's an area that we just got to continue to focus in on, be positive, be demanding, be productive in.
All right, let's go back to Chapel Hill, and we'll take a look at some of the plays with Maryland taking on the Tar Heels last week. Absolutely gorgeous day down in North Carolina, and the Terps come out, and here we go.
I'll tell you, this was an excellent opening drive for us. It was real critical for us, we thought, to get the ball moving, and how our offense did it was terrific. They came down, and Scotty finds, again, an open Jermaine Lewis over the middle for a completion and a first down.
All right, this is early in the ball game.
Again, excellent pass protection afforded Scott all day long, and there's touchdown to Jermaine Lewis to open the scoring and really get our offense in gear. This was what we had to do on the opening drive, and again, excellent execution to accomplish that.
And that's a 34-yarder, so you strike first in this game.
Here was a play-action pass off of option that we had not seen, and you know, a real good call by the North Carolina offense and real good effort by our defense at stopping the touchdown. Captain Chad Wiesling and Mike Settles, you know, stopping the touchdown. Can't say enough about the special teams play of our punt team, especially Scott Milanovic. 43-yard average in the game. He still leads the ACC with his punting, and excellent coverage there to down the ball inside the 10-yard line.
You surprised the way he's kicking, Mark, so far?
I'll tell you, Johnny, he not really. I mean, he's just been very, very consistent, and that's what it's all about. Here it was a minus yardage play by freshman linebacker Ratcliffe Thomas on his third series of the game on a key 3rd-and-1 play to stop the Carolina offense. And then we wanted to go. Really, our game plan was to try to attack the underneath zones and in terms of the Carolina defense. And here we went deep and blew by the safeties for a big, big catch, 78-yarder to Jermaine Lewis. And then Scott Milanovic on the quarterback sneak to pull us to within 7 points, 21-14.
And right now, things are going quite well until this play here.
Well, this was we were in the 3-deep zone coverage right here, and they wound up just really hitting the seam right now between our defense, and they had enough speed to make the play and score. That was a 90-yard score, and we've got to eliminate that to continue to be successful on defense. The positive is we came right back, and Angel Guerra makes a fumble recovery there by Farad Hall. We get field position for our offense, which we take advantage of.
And then Scott up top to Carter.
Again, he gives us a couple pump fakes and was able to throw it to a wide-open Andrew Carter, his first touchdown of the season, and really an excellent way to take sudden change offense to the limit.
So now it's a 14-point ball game after the touchdown pass to Carter.
As we said, it was exciting, and it was big play after big play. Here was an excellent pass rush by Mike Gillespie and Jaime Flores to sack the quarterback from North Carolina and force them to punt. Again, the defense gave up a couple big plays, came back to make big plays of their own. Then Mark Mason here taking a toss sweep and getting us really needed yardage into the boundary here against Carolina's defense. And again, as I said, the pass protection, Carolina had 1 sack all day long and allowed Scott to have time to throw. Here we just didn't quite get our feet set and threw an interception there just before the half.
And they got a field goal to go up 38-21 at the half.
Again, we came out throwing here, and you can just see this one. We were able again to get by the secondary North Carolina, one that's got a lot of experience, and Jermaine has a score with an excellent execution from Milanovic to Lewis for that score.
67 yards.
Really a big, big play, and more big plays. Here's Mike Settles, a young man who's starting in our outside linebacker position on the option play, tackling Mike Thomas, a quarterback for a minus yardage play. Again, here we were trying to execute again as much as we could and spreading the ball around. Here's a screen pass to Cameron Williams, who at Superback came in and really had a productive second half for us, getting a lot of big, tough yards for us. Russell Weaver with a catch on the flank. So again, we're trying to attack the middle, attack the perimeter, and also be able to throw the deep ball.
And spread the ball around, too.
Absolutely. We had a number of different receivers catch the ball. Here's Mansell Johnson catching the ball in traffic for the score to put us within 10 points in the fourth quarter. Really fine, poised, and concentrated, focused catch by Mansell Johnson.
And here it is, the same play in slow motion now.
I mean, there's a lot of blue shirts in there, and again, Scott's able to put the ball on the button, and Mansell, again, clamps it for the score.
So now, Coach, you're down by 10.
Really important for us right now to have a big play on defense, and we get that in terms of our support. Again, that's Angel Guerra with the play on the option, stopping the Carolina offense.
And he has played a fine couple of games.
He really has at the safety position. Here we get a little play action pass, and you know, they just were able to get by our secondary here, and a perfect throw by the quarterback from Carolina for the score.
So really a chance at this point, down 52-35 to cash it in, but the Terps don't do that.
No, our special teams play again comes through. This is Orlando Strozier with a 33-yard punt return, and you know, again, it'd been easy to fair catch that perhaps based on their coverage, but again, we're on the attack and on the move, and a real fine return by Orlando Strozier with the punt return. Again, good pass protection. Well-thrown ball to get out about the 6-yard line here to Jermaine Lewis. We had a number of fourth down conversions here, which were very, very key for us. And here's a touchdown again late in the fourth quarter to freshman Jermaine Stewart, which gets us closer. So, I mean, again, there was lots of big plays by our team and a lot of fourth down conversions, which, you know, again, I thought that was key for us to be effective that way on offense.
Interesting, on the two passes we saw to Lewis, were they the same call, same play?
They were the same call.
Looked exactly like he was running the same angle, too.
They were the same call. We were trying to get, again, deep and attack the corner of the defense of North Carolina. And, again, good execution by Milanovic to Lewis.
Coach, I would think that when they came off the field at Chapel Hill, each one of the members of your football team had to say, you know, nobody to blame except us. You know, we could have done better than this, and we're not going to stand for this kind of a defensive effort.
No, I don't think there's any question about that. The frustration was not in the fact that they were pounded or beaten or that type of thing, that we really kind of gave plays away that you can't do against anyone, right, especially a team of North Carolina's caliber. So I think there's, again, that's kind of pumped the tires of determination in our preparation this week against West Virginia.
But I'm not trying to make excuses for you or make excuses for the defense or the team at all, but goodness, when you have so many young players, there is no way to get better unless they play. Unfortunately, that they are being thrown in the fire like this, but there's nowhere to go. This is it. No, what you got's what you work with.
Exactly, and there's no better experience, as you're mentioning, than the game experience itself. They've had 2 games. They're no longer young players. They're aging players right now that have to continue to come through.
After 2 games, freshmen and seniors.
That's exactly right. No, they're coming on strong right now with that. And as I said, there's a real determined effort in our entire football team to win, and that's what we're going to do against West Virginia.
All right, we'll take a moment out, then we'll come back and continue with more of the Mark Duffner Show right after these messages. Coming up next, we'll visit with the ACC's leading receiver, the Terrapins' Jermaine Lewis.
Are you ready for some red-hot action this year? Coach Mark Duffner and his Terrapins are back this fall to burn up Bird Stadium with their searing run-and-shoot offense that'll start some fires no defense could put out. This season, the Terps have a sizzling home schedule, which includes Penn State and Florida State. So come out to College Park and feel the heat. Call for your season tickets today. Maryland football, red hot.
Welcome back to the Coach's Show. Johnny Holliday along with one of our 2 special guests tonight, wide receiver Jermaine Lewis from Eleanor Roosevelt High School in Lanham, Maryland, who just happens to lead the Atlantic Coast Conference in receptions. Got to be a nice feeling for you, huh?
Yes, it's pretty nice. I just found this out
today really.
In 2 games, you had 7 catches against Virginia. You had 9 against North Carolina. I mean, you're off to just a tremendous start, despite a little bit of a hamstring problem, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully, I can keep it up for the rest of the year, keep my health and just continuing to get open. That's the main thing.
Against North Carolina, you got caught at the 1-yard line with a diving catch. You should have taken that guy in the parking lot after the game and said, let's run 50 yards. Winner takes all, huh?
Yeah. When I caught it, I didn't want to really push it too hard because last week when I was running a touchdown, I had pulled up on my hamstring. So I just wanted to make sure I can finish the game, and I thought I can get in with what I had, but he caught me, nipped my foot.
The word on Jermaine Lewis is the fastest player in the Atlantic Coast Conference, one of the fastest in the country, and that's because of all your track background in high school.
Yeah. I ran track all 4 years in high school, and I had my coach, Larry Colbert. He helped me out a whole lot. And I've been running for a while, a long time.
Now, here's an example of a young guy. You're 5'9", 170 pounds, and in your position, you've got to go across the middle a lot, and you're certainly not afraid to take a shot.
Yeah, I mean...
You're not thrilled about taking it.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it now. Everybody's basically going to be bigger than me, so if I keep focused on the ball, everything's okay.
Jermaine, let's take a look at some of your catches here in the first couple of games. This is against North Carolina last week, and you might want to comment on this one, the first touchdown pass from Milanovich.
Oh, we were in a hurry huddle play, and the defense was sort of looking around, so I just kind of ran past them.
And you're off to a 7-0 lead here. This is the one where the guy catches you. Yeah. Or he luckily dives and trips you up here.
I started to slow up a little bit right there. And when I got caught, I was kind of shocked.
Did you know he was behind you?
I knew he was behind me, but I didn't know he was that close to me.
And here's another one. And almost the same play, but this time they don't get you.
Yeah, it's the exact same play. This side decided to run, so I couldn't get the touchdown.
3 touchdown receptions. And this is the slow motion of the one that they're not going to catch you on that one. 2 touchdown catches against Carolina, 1 against Virginia, so you got 3 in these first 2 ball games. What makes your position so successful from your perspective? Why do you think at this stage of the 2 games in the season you're having such a good year? The speed, the offensive calls, or what would it be?
A little bit of both. Plus, being on the outside, it's a lot more room to work with than the inside where I was last year. I have a lot more room, and it's not as much confusion, linebackers and stuff trying to get their hands on you. And it's a wide open field, basically.
So obviously you and the other receivers, which Milanovich throws to, and you got a whole bunch of good ones beside yourself, this run and shoot is really something an offensive player like yourself has to say, man, I love this. Yeah. This is great.
I mean, I like it a lot. We're going to throw the ball 50 times. I couldn't be more happier since I'm a receiver.
All right, how about talking about West Virginia briefly? This early in the season is a major game for this school against West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. It's a win we really need, to get a lot of confidence back so everybody can feel more confident about what their position and everything they have to do.
Well, this time maybe you'll go out and break Badgett's record this week. Huh? You came up 1 yard shy of tying it last week.
Yeah, hopefully. Have a good game.
All right, Jermaine. Thank you, my friend. Best of luck to you against West Virginia the rest of the season.
Okay, thanks.
We'll come back and visit with Chad Wiesling, the veteran senior linebacker for Maryland, right after these messages. It's time for Terrapin Trivia. This week's question: Scott Milanovich tied a Maryland record by throwing 5 touchdown passes against North Carolina. Whose record did he tie? And the answer, it was John Caleo, who threw for 5 touchdowns in Maryland's 53-23 win over Clemson last season.
I have a dog. He's a great dog, but he digs. Night and day and night and day, dig, 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 dig. My brother's dog, he's in commercials, makes a fortune. My neighbor's dog, 5 months old, comes on the first whistle. My dog, you whistle, he digs, but who cares?
Small. Small. Big. Big. Small.
Welcome back to the Mark Duffner Show. I'm Johnny Holliday, and our special guest, Chad Wiesling, one of the few seniors on this Maryland football team. And I guess Chad is a tri-captain, a member of the defense. There's some work to be done to kind of shore up the defense, but they're so young, aren't they? But how long can we talk about that youth stuff?
Yeah, they're definitely young. It's we have 8 or 9 guys that are, you know, either freshmen or first-year players on our defense, and we're definitely young. And you know, we just gotta, as a leader and a captain, you know, it's up to me to kind of, you know, reassure the confidence and tell them, you know, kind of pat them on the back and, you know, try to get them to step it up, because in order for us to be successful, everyone's got to play like 4-year veterans, 4 or 5-year veterans.
Put yourself, and you were in the same shoes as these young guys. You played 2 years on defense now, you played 2 years on offense, and you played a lot when you came in as a freshman. There's so much to learn, and defensively, maybe it's more of you got to react rather than think.
Oh, definitely. It's overwhelming when you come in from high school. High school, you can just go out and play, and when you come to college, it's overwhelming, and it's hard to, you know, just adapt to everything thrown at you at once. And these young kids are doing fairly well for everything that's being thrown at them, and it's just they're going to have to, you know,
sink or swim early, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going to have to hopefully, you know, soak it up and learn it quickly. Then more, you know, learn it more quickly than, you know, because we can't afford to sit back and wait.
You know, in the first 2 games, it's really the big plays have been the difference in the Virginia game, and of course last week in North Carolina. You eliminate those big plays, and instead of talking 0-2, we're quite possibly talking 2-0.
Oh, most definitely. Kind of the same situation that happened last year. You know, we've been known as being a big play defense, and all we got to do is, you know, we gave up the big play, some mental mistakes and everything, and that's due to a lot. It has a lot to do with being young and, you know, mental breakdowns and missed assignments and everything by the young kids. But you take those big plays away. Last week, you know, we win. We beat number 14th team in the country.
That's right.
And you know, so we have to learn from our mistakes, you know, and come out this week against West Virginia and just build on, you know, the positive things and everything.
And forget the other problems.
Yeah, you know, we're 0-2, but there's 9 more games to be played, and that's what we got to keep telling these young kids. You know, we could be now. Our goal is to go 9-2. You know, and
let's take you back a little bit and show you a young Chad Wiesling against the Michigan Wolverines. This is in Ann Arbor a couple years ago, and this is when you were playing offense, number 26.
Yeah,
nice little catch. You had a pretty good day against these guys, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a great day. I was a true freshman, and I was starting H-back. Frank Wycheck got injured this game, and I was kind of thrown in, you know, right away.
9 receptions. There's one from Zolak.
Yeah, it was a great day for me, and a day I'll always remember.
And here's against Virginia. This is this year, just a couple of weeks ago, and you're, of course, on defense coming in there and making a play.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically, you know, my job now is to stop the run and with everything. And you know, I think I've picked it up pretty well. I mean, I had played defense last year, another position, outside linebacker last year. But I think that, you know, I've picked the defensive side up pretty well.
How about a prediction about this week's game against West Virginia? A team that scored 42 points their opener, but a team that, if you can put it together defensively, it's going to be a Maryland victory.
Yeah, I think week in and week out it's going to be up to the defense. Defense wins ball games no matter who's playing. And if we can eliminate the big plays, that's the key, the big play. If we eliminate the big play, because West Virginia's going to be coming out firing deep balls and trying to create the big play.
That's right.
If we can eliminate the big play, we're gonna be successful and we're gonna win week in and week out because our offense can put up the points, and we know our defense knows that, and now it's just up to us to
go out and do it.
You go out and do it and stop the opposing offense.
All right, put that in the book. If Chad Wiesling says they're going to go out and do it. Thanks, Chad, my friend. Great to see you.
Johnny.
And I hope you continue to have a great senior year.
So do I.
We'll take a break and come back and continue with the Mark Duffner Show. The coach returns. We'll take an in-depth look at the Mountaineers of West Virginia right after these messages.
Here's a look at Maryland's upcoming games. For ticket information, call 1-800-462-TURF.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud, Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
Some students come here to experience our teaching philosophy that extends beyond the classroom walls. Other students come just to learn from our world-class faculty. And still others come just to study with some of the most sophisticated technology available. But whatever their reasons for coming to the University of Maryland at College Park, they will all leave with the same thing: the education of a lifetime.
Promotional consideration for the Mark Duffner Show provided by U.S. Air. U.S. Air begins with you. 3 of the last 4 meetings between Maryland and West Virginia have been decided by 4 points or less. Last year in Morgantown, 34-33. You get them again here at Byrd Stadium now.
We're anxious for the ball game Saturday night at 7 o'clock in Byrd Stadium. The atmosphere will be electric, I'm sure, with terms of our fans and student body out to support the Terps, so it's going to be a great night.
If there's a plus for West Virginia, they've been off for a week after beating Eastern Michigan.
Well, they did. They opened up September 4th when we played Virginia. They've had now 2 weeks of preparation for us offensively and defensively, so that is a chance to prepare and also heal up in preparation for our game.
Coach, one of the nice things about playing a night game, you give a lot of the high school fans a chance to come out because they're playing Saturday afternoons when you are.
We've invited a lot of the high school coaches and high school area student athletes to attend, so again, it's a great opportunity for them to come out and see the Terrapins in action.
Let's take a look at some players who perhaps will be marked men when West Virginia comes in, including this guy, their quarterback, Jake Kelchner.
Johnny, again, he's the guy that's really made their offense go. He's been able to run and pass well. Their fullback here, Mr. Woodward, here is a guy that's, again, a returning player from last year, a very powerful runner and a good receiver. You know, they do a real good job of pass protection. Here they have a throw here to Mike Baker, their split end, and then off the play action, they're flanking, they're able to throw the ball deep here to Eddie Hill. So they've got big play threats on their receiver positions in Hill and Baker, and then also just a very, very aggressive defensive football team, one that there's been a lot of write-ups in terms of how improved they are. They're led by Tim Brown here, their inside linebacker, who's a very physical player. So this is a very veteran group. They've got 8 seniors on offense and a group that's out to prove something this year.
And defensively, they've allowed, 31 yards and 32 carries by Eastern Michigan?
They played some real good run defense in their opening game against Eastern Michigan, just 6 points in that effort. So, you know, again, there's a lot of confidence, I'm sure, from the Mountaineers this week.
What is your philosophy going into this ball game offensively?
Well, we want to continue to get our offense clicking. We want to try to control the ball as much as we can in terms of balancing the run-to-pass play selection and continue to score points. Again, defensively, just not give up the big play. We'd like to get the 3-playing out series, get the ball back. We talk about it being Tanoga, take away, no giveaway, and put our offense in position to score.
And what a difference a win would make, right? All
No
of a sudden,
question.
nothing heals the wounds more than a victory.
Nothing will stop the bleeding like winning. There's no question about that.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thanks, John.
Go get them against West Virginia. That's the Mark Duffner Show for this week. We hope you'll join us again next week. We'll do it all over again. For the head coach, I'm Johnny Holliday. Good night.
Coming up next on George Mason University Sports, a lot to talk about this week. The women's soccer team is undefeated. They start off the season 4-0. We'll talk to a couple of the players and Coach Jack Sakala. The men's soccer team got its first win this past weekend. We'll talk to forward Tamir Linhart. Plus, from the women's volleyball team, they've won 5 matches in a row. We'll talk to Jen Dynaberg, CAA Player of the Week, and Coach Pat Kendrick. All that and more coming up on George Mason University Sports. Welcome back to George Mason University Sports. I'm your host, Dave Ungrady. This is our first show of the year. We'll bring you 35 shows throughout the school year. We've got plenty to talk about this season, and we're going to start off talking tonight about the women's soccer team. They are 4-0, starting the campaign undefeated. We've got 2 players, members of the team with us tonight. To my right, Hollis Costco, our senior midfielder. Another senior midfielder to my left, Andrea Lockhart. Ladies, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks.
Andrea, start off with you. Are you a little surprised that the team is doing so well this season so far?
Well, naturally, it's great that we're doing this well. 4-0 is probably the best we could have expected. But we've been working on putting together a team so far, starting in the spring, and everyone's gotten real close. So we've been playing together like that.
Was anything done during the off-season, even the summer, that was different than previous years that may have helped you so far?
Yeah, both of our coaches really scared us this year about certain fitness that was demanded when we came in, and if we weren't fit, we would be released. And I know that I, for one, ran a lot more, and I think everyone came in this season fit and healthy. We didn't have any early muscle tears, anything like that, and that really helped us out a lot.
Hollis, did you do anything differently this summer to help you prepare for the season?
I really trained a lot this summer, both playing because I work at soccer camps. I played a lot with the staff, and I also ran a lot because I knew the first day we had to run that Cooper, and I knew I had to pass it the first go because it's not fun running it every other day. It's 7 1/4 laps in 12 minutes, and you have to pass that to put on uniform to play in the first game. So I knew last year after running it several times, I didn't want to run it more than once. So
how long did it take you to pass it this time?
Once.
Once? Good.
Once.
And Andrea? Once. Good. So it paid off.
We were scared.
Now, you both were midfielders. Are you, Hollis, are you primarily a defensive midfielder? Explain your role on the team.
My role on the team, as far as not as far as being a leader, is on the field is winning every head ball because I am 6 feet tall, and it's something that I lacked last year. And to win every head ball, offensive and defense, and to play as simple as I can. And outside midfielder, as well as a center midfielder, does a lot of running, both offense and defense. Because if the ball is up, you have to be in the 18, and if the ball is back on defense, you have to make sure you're marking up your man. So there's a lot of running in midfield.
You're both starting, so Andrea, I imagine since that's her role, your role's got to be a little differently as a midfielder.
Yeah, basically we try and push the ball down the right side a lot and then try and switch it off and catch the defense off balance. So a lot of times we have to switch the ball in the air, get good one-touch play. Our coach doesn't like us to dribble a lot, which sometimes happens, but he wants us to play 1- and 2-touch balls, get everything done as efficiently as possible.
So are you playing on the right side of the field, or do you mix it up? Do you go to both sides?
Primarily, I prefer the right side, but sometimes I go in the left side as well. I can use my right and left foot, so it doesn't really matter to me, but I do like the right side better.
Now, apparently, Hollis, we'll go to you. You had 6 starters returning this year, which means you have to have 6 new starters, and some freshmen are really pulling through for Mason this year.
Right, we have a few new freshmen starting, and the 2 that make a really good impact are Jen Gross and Carrie Eppinghaus. And I know both of them have scored at least once in every game, which is a great help to us, and I think that's over 50% of the goals this year. And they're doing a great job. Couldn't ask more from them.
Now, your next home game, Andrea, talk about Wright State coming up next weekend.
Well, we played Wright State the last 2 years. We have beat them, so we do expect another W. But as we always have to remember, you can't take any game for granted, because it's those games that you lose that knock you out of the tournament. So it's like we're going to look at it as another UVA, another William & Mary, and take it hard. But we haven't had a problem in the past, and I assume since we've been playing so well together that we should be able to beat them. That's going to be Saturday at home at 1 o'clock.
Let's hope a good turnout is going to happen at that game.
Yeah.
Ladies, thanks for stopping by. We're going to come back still talking about women's soccer here at George Mason. We're going to have an interview with women's coach Jack Sakala, so stay with us.
One day, it all just started, and for a long time, there was fire, and rocks, and fire, and rocks. Then in 1886, Coca-Cola was invented in Atlanta, Georgia, ushering in the modern period of peace, harmony, tranquility, fire, and rocks.
Welcome back to George Mason University Sports. I'm Dave Ungrady. You know, the women's soccer team is really on a tear. They've won 10 games in a row now, dating back to the end of last season. This past week, they beat James Madison 2-0 and UMBC 2-1. Let's find out from women's coach Jack Sakala why the team is playing so well. GMU women's soccer coach Jack Sakala has gotten the team off to a start that really couldn't be any better. 4 wins in its first 4 games. Jack, why has the team been so successful so early?
A lot of it has to do with the new recruits that we have this year, and the fact that players came in this year much fitter and much more prepared for the season, so that we gelled much quicker. And even though we had 1 scrimmage against UNCG, every time we've gone out in the field, they've actually picked up and played better and better. So at this point in time, things are going very well for us.
You finished last season with 6 straight wins. That had to build some momentum coming into this season.
It did, but we didn't dwell on that, only because we lost the 5 seniors that graduated, and we lost some real critical players in Harlow, Fine, Carol Lynn, and we were a little concerned as to how some of the new players were going to fit in, and some restructuring in the sweeper back position with Christine Ho. So even though people say, well, we're building on that 6-game winning streak, we really had to be a little bit cautious of that and make sure that we got our cards right for the new squad that came in this year's team.
You do have 6 returning starters, and they're all over the field in each position.
Correct.
Tell us about where the strengths are and the weaknesses are on the team.
Well, up front, we're certainly real pleased with Sherry Worsham and Tammy Pierman, and they've been very stable for us. And of course, we've introduced Jen Gross up there as a new freshman who's been scoring regularly for us. At midfield, we had to rebuild the middle, but Carrie Uppenhouse, who's coming from Colorado, has done a very solid job there. And we're rotating different players on the flanks, and that's been a pretty competitive position right now in terms of a tug-of-war by 4 players. But right down the middle, we're pretty solid. Kim DeRico at stopper, Christine Ho at sweeper, and then Julie Helmuth and Wendy LaBelle have been at the outside back. And without a doubt, Sky Eddy's introduction here in the Mason program has been a blessing in disguise. Certainly, it's not to say that we didn't have confidence in the keepers that we brought in, but having an experienced senior ready to go after having played 3 years at UMass has been a definite benefit.
Did you expect to be 4-0 at this point?
No, I really didn't. I wasn't sure where we were going to be, and the real test was when we played James Madison, because they were ranked 15th in the country at the time, and even though we did well with Xavier and Villanova, you never really know how your program's going to be until you meet a national contender. And after the Madison game, I felt much, much better, and I guess we'll get a better side of the picture after we play Rutgers on Wednesday. They're certainly nationally ranked right now, and hopefully we can knock them off the boot too.
This is the first year for a CAA championship for women's soccer. Has that changed the focus for your team and maybe put a little more emphasis on that than the Nationals?
No, not at all. Our primary goal last year and this year is we want an NCAA bid. The CAA is nice, but for the program to be successful here at Mason, we want to get into the tournament. And with the expansion of the tournament now to 16 teams, they take the top 4 out of each region. We want to be in those top 4 positions, one of those top 4 positions.
Pick apart the schedule a bit for us. Where is the toughest part of the schedule?
Early to middle October is clearly the toughest. We have UVA, Wisconsin, Madison, and at the end of this month, William & Mary. So I would start with probably the 29th of September through early October is going to be the toughest part of our schedule.
Now, some coaches don't like to do this. Do you sit down at the beginning of the season and say, okay, this is what I expect this is how I expect our team to finish by the end of the season, or you're a little reluctant to set those kind of goals?
I really am. We take one goal at a time, and since, my coming to Mason last year, it's been 1 year at a time, one game at a time, and I don't want to get into any early predictors because this is a kind of a game where anybody can win on a given day. Creighton just beat Rutgers, William and Mary just beat UVA, so, and even though we won against UMBC, it was a tough 2-1 game. So I don't really like predictors. We just take the one game as they approach, and then we get ready for the next one after it's over.
Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you. We'll be right back after this break.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Speaking of winning, the men's soccer team got its first win of the season this past weekend. It was in the first round of the George Mason Lanzera Invitational held at the George Mason University Soccer Stadium. They beat Oral Roberts 4-0. 2 goals by junior John Ferrandino, a goal by John Kelly, and another by sophomore Mousse Kone. Tamir Linhart is a potent forward, a striker for Mason's men's team. We talked to him a little bit ago about what the team needs to do to get on the winning track. Tamir Linhart, the player of the year in the CAA last year. Tamir, thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
The team got off to a 1-3 start so far this year. You had a weekend tournament. How'd it go for the team in the tournament?
This weekend wasn't very successful for us, even though we started with a win 4-0 over Oral Roberts. But we are a much better team than Oral Roberts. And in the second game, we are better team than Virginia Tech, but unfortunately we lost 1-0. We didn't play well, and we had a lot of work to do.
You have 2 goals so far this year. Did you expect to be a little more productive offensively so far? Are you frustrated?
I can't really say I'm frustrated, but I definitely hope to score. I thought I would score more than 2 goals in the first 4 games, like I did last year. But this year I know it's going to be much harder for me. First of all, because the opponent, they mark me very tightly, and if we're not playing very well, so it's hard for me to produce. And the other thing, we have a new team. We have at least 5 new players starting in the lineup, and it's hard to adjust to college soccer for those young players, and that's the reason we're not producing as well as we thought we were going to do.
Has it taken you out of your natural game, the fact that you have so many inexperienced players, especially maybe at midfield, where you've got to maybe work a little harder to get the ball?
Yes, of course. I mean, the players last year got to know me better, and they knew exactly where I want the ball and my style of game, because each forward's playing different. And those players, they will know me, and we'll know each other, but it takes time, and we're just 2 weeks together. And it's still not working as the coach wants, as we want. And I think when I have the better support from the players and they will understand me and my style of playing, I'm sure it's going to be better, and I'll be able to produce better.
Now, you prefer to play right around the 18-yard line, within that box area, just outside the box, actually. Considering the fact that you have an inexperienced team, are you finding yourself being pushed out a little further and maybe out of your natural position?
Yeah, sometimes I feel I have to go even to the midfield to get some balls and try to do something. But I'm sure, as I said before, that when we get to know each other, they will know exactly how to give me the ball, and I will know exactly how to give it back, or exactly what to do with the balls they're giving me. But it will take time.
Although you're not a senior, as a junior or an upperclassman, the fact there's so many young players on this team, you are in a leadership role in a sense this year. How are you reacting to that? What are you trying to do to get the other players a little more comfortable in this situation?
Yes, I'm part of the leadership. We have some other players who played here 2 or 3 years, and we're all together trying to help those young players because they are very talented, those young players. And it's going to take time. We're trying to cheer them up, or after the game I'm talking with each one individual and try to give them exactly direction what to do, and just simply cheer them up, because they'll do better. I mean, this year and even then the following years they will do much better, I'm sure.
You've got a couple CAA games coming up this week, and of course you have GW on Wednesday, and then 2 CAA games. What are you expecting from the conference this year, and how do you feel the team's going to fit in?
We have a very difficult conference. We have very good teams in our conference, and if the young players will adjust to our style of game, and we will improve, I'm sure we can do better, but we need to work hard to make the NCAA tournament.
Tamir, good luck to you.
Okay.
Keep striking that ball towards the goal.
Thanks a lot.
We're going to take a break and come right back after this message.
This is where I live. There are lots of doctors and machines for me and the other kids. Last week, a guy named Mike came. He took us all on a camping trip.
Mike gives up a weekend a month to help a disabled child, but he gets back a feeling that lasts forever.
When I get better, you know what? I'm going to take Mike fishing.
To find out what you can do in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
He protects all living things in the forest. But he can't do it alone. Please don't play with matches. Put out your campfires. And never, ever forget the words of Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back to George Mason University Sports. I'm Dave Ungrady. You know, the women's volleyball team also is starting off pretty well this year. They're in the middle of a 5-game match streak. They are 6-1 on the season, and a large part, reason for that is Jen Dynaberg. She's a junior outside hitter for the Mason team, and she's with me tonight. Jen, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
You are our CAA Player of the Week in volleyball, representing George Mason. Let's go through your statistics first of all and tell you why you've got that honor. 21 digs versus Cal Poly, 16 kills against Duquesne, a 312 hitting percentage against Tennessee, and you rank first in digs in the CAA. Are you surprised at how well you're doing so far this year?
Yeah, my preseason wasn't that good, but I'm glad I'm playing well now, and hopefully it'll carry out throughout the season.
Now, as an outside hitter, I imagine you're primarily an offensive role, or explain that for us.
No, I'm basically defense.
Oh, I got that right, huh?
I pass most of the time because I'm not very tall to hit, and we have a lot of pretty tall people on our team. So I amazingly pass the ball to the setter, and then they set it outside to Andy Smith.
So you're primarily to set up the setter?
Yeah.
For the big kills?
Yeah, mainly.
Have you always been comfortable in that role?
When I was a lot younger, I was taller and stuff, so then I was hitting. But I've been playing defense and passing for a long time now, so yeah, I'm more comfortable passing than hitting.
You've got a pretty young team this year. We were talking during the break. You've got 9 incoming freshmen, is that correct?
Yeah.
And transfers?
No, they're all freshmen.
All freshmen. How is that affecting the way this team prepared, or how did that affect the way the team prepared at the beginning of the season?
It was hard. There's a lot of inexperience out on the court. Out of our 6 starting players, 3 of them are freshmen, and then we have 2 girls from Hungary who didn't get here until about 2 weeks ago. So it's been hard just getting the team together to play well, but it'll come along. And so.
What are your goals for this year? Do you have personal goals in addition to the team goals, or?
For the team, we like to win the championship again, because this year we have a bid to the NCAA tournament. So personally, I just like to be consistent with my passing. That's my job on the team. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Thanks, Jen, and good luck to you.
Thanks.
We're going to talk more volleyball when we come back. Carl Sell will talk to women's coach Pat Kendrick, plus some updates on some other fall sports teams, so stay with us.
There are countries where bread is scarce, but this is America. Countries where electricity is rare, but this is America. Countries where infant mortality is a problem, but this is America. Here, it's a crisis. Every 13 minutes, another infant dies. But we can help prevent many of those deaths with prenatal care from programs like Healthy Start. Find out what you can do. Why? Because this is America.
Honey, it's Mom. Please let me in. I'm worried.
Learn to see the signs of mental illness. 2 out of 3 people who get help get better. For a free booklet, call the National Mental Health Association.
The women's volleyball team, as we mentioned before, is in the middle of a 5-game winning streak. They are now 6-1 on the season. Let's review how they did last week. They had 4 games in 3 days. A Friday in the afternoon, they beat Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in a 4-game match. Friday evening, they came back and beat UMBC in 3 games. Saturday, they beat Duquesne in 4 games. And on Sunday, they beat Tennessee in 3 games. Carl Sell earlier talked to head coach Pat Kendrick about why the team has been so successful.
Thanks, Dave. We're here to talk with Pat Kendrick, the women's volleyball coach at George Mason University, coming off a successful year last year and off to a great start already this year, Pat.
Yeah, we're trying to pick up where we left off. We were 18-10 last year, won the conference tournament. We're 6-1 at this point, and so hopefully we're looking to continue our winning ways.
Coach, last year you won the conference, but it really didn't lead to anything. The important thing about this year is that the winner of the Colonial Athletic Association tournament gets an automatic bid into the NCAAs.
Yeah, we're real excited about that. They expanded the tournament from 32 teams to 48, and we have one of the automatic bids to the tournament, so we're looking forward to that.
How about the CAA this year? Other than George Mason, who can we look for to be tough? William and Mary again?
Yeah, I think the pot's been sweetened now that anybody can play for the NCAA championship, so I expect all the teams to come out strong, but certainly William and Mary.
Coach, your team, how does it look? How do you shape up? I know you got Angie Smith back, an all-CAA player, just a great volleyball player. Tell us a little bit about her, how she's doing so far this year.
She's having a great year. She's showing a lot of leadership on the floor. I think she's playing better this year than she played last year. So she's taken on a lot of responsibility again. Keisha Gallman's real strong for us playing middle, as well as Nikki Jensen, and we have Jill Ford. Jen Dynaberg, coming off of the Maccabee games over the summer, is ready to play.
You also have an awful lot of new people. We'll talk about that. There's so many folks to talk about, but it's a veteran. You have some veteran players, but basically a young squad, too.
Yeah, we brought over a couple of players from Hungary, and even though they're both freshmen, they've played at the World Junior Championships in Brazil, so they bring with them a lot of international experience. Joy Kingsley Ibe, who's a Nigerian native from Harrisonburg, Virginia, real athletic, and brings a quick arm and a quick jump to the team.
Coach, you're going to Northern Arizona in Flagstaff, Arizona this weekend to play volleyball. I note that Northern Arizona, haven't they beaten William and Mary?
Yeah, they beat William and Mary earlier, and actually I think it went 5 in that match, and so we're looking for them to be strong. One of their players, Trina Keaton, was on my festival team over the summer, so I'm familiar with her. We have San Diego State at that tournament. They're always real strong, as well as Texas San Antonio, so we're hoping it'll be a good tournament for us.
Coach, you look like you've picked some pretty strong opposition to get off to here to get ready for the CAA.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it's worked out, and we're hoping that this strong play at the beginning of the season will tone us up for the conference play in October.
Coach, we'll be talking more to you as the season goes along. Good luck to you and the women's volleyball team.
Thank you.
Good luck to the women's volleyball team and coach Pat Kendrick. Our connection newspaper, George Mason University Athlete of the Week, is Carrie Uppinghouse. She's a freshman player on the women's soccer team. She had a pretty good week last week. She had a goal against Xavier.